This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio, or email the show via the Absolute Radio website. Oh, yes. Can I ask you guys a question?
Sure.
I've been...
I just say I didn't say the word sure until working with Emily, and now I say it all the time.
It's my greatest ever legacy.
Yeah.
I was in Jersey on Wednesday night doing a gig.
Was that the Bergerac one? Or was he Guernsey? Alan, though.
It's Graham Lasso. That's how I always think of it. Jersey's Graham Lasso, and I think Guernsey's Matt Letizia.
Okay.
Oh, I think Bergerac is Jersey.
Okay. As you were.
Anyway, someone on stage shouted out...
Hang on. Surely you were on stage.
No, I was on stage. Oh, God, I've got it very wrong. I did shout out quite a lot, but only in pain.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, no.
No. And it was lovely. And someone shouted out... I mentioned that I'd done the Royal Variety performance, which went out on Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
And this woman shouted, "Tuck your shirt in."
Oh, God, I was worried this was going to come up.
And I thought, I checked out, my shirt was tucked in. So I said, it is tucked in, and it got a laugh. And then after, I forgot about it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I didn't.
And then the next morning, I spoke to my manager, who said, that shirt thing's all died down. And I said, what shirt thing is that? And then I can't remember what happened.
I can.
But I mean in this conversation. But we went somewhere else in the conversation. Right. And so I was coming in this morning and I thought, hold on, I never got to the bottom of Shirtgate.
Right.
So do you know what this is about?
Where's the tea? Is that on its Well, one of our readers has been in touch.
Okay.
As far as Adam.
Can I say this is not a setup? I absolutely just...
No, I'm about to vomit.
I wasn't even sure you two would know.
Oh, no, I knew. I was just pretending it hadn't happened. Adam has got in touch.
Was there excrement on it?
He said Frank Skinner is trending on the socials. This was on the 10th of December.
You were trending?
You were trending.
I can't be right.
Last week, I was at the theatre with you when the incident happened, I believe. That was the night the Royal Variety performance went out.
Right.
And it was when I got home that I saw you were trending on the socials. And
but what was the... I don't... Just because my shirt was hanging out.
It was because you had the tails of your shirt were...
Oh, at the back it was hanging out?
No, at the front.
Oh, I forgot. Well, someone should have told me.
Yeah,
What's
they
happened
ought
to
to
wardrobe?
really.
You see television now, they won't spend the money.
Although, can I say, the majority of... most of the comments I saw said people complaining about Frank Skinner's shirt being out, like that's the worst thing the royal family's had to worry about this year.
Well, there you are. There's been worse things hanging out than that.
Every cloud, they should be thinking.
Oh, okay.
I think most people were pro Skinner
but
on the shirt front.
How does that become a trending thing, someone's shirt hanging out?
I think people see it and then just discuss it, and then it gets snowballed from there, if you will.
Do you recall? I mean, had you been to visit the latrine, perhaps?
Bear in mind, I got to the theatre at about 8:30 that morning, and then you're just hanging around. So I'm not a person who turns up with a suit bag. I turn up in what I'm going to wear on stage.
Wow. Yes, I see.
That's the best way of carrying clothes, I've always found. So obviously I've been sitting around talking to contortionists and dancing girls for about 12 hours.
Morning, Kath.
So...
well, can I say, I was less focused on your shirt and more focused on the first-class material.
Oh, well, there you go.
Excellent.
Of the shirt?
Yeah.
Of the
Egyptian
comic.
cotton. Yeah.
Lovely shirt. No, but you were trending.
It was the only new material I got out that day.
Could have do with a bit of a clean, though.
But I don't know why. Is it just when one's in front of the royal family, you should tuck your shirt in? Was that the gist?
I think the idea was that everyone puts their sort of Sunday best on.
Yeah.
Well, I was in a suit. I mean, what do they want?
Yeah,
also,
exactly.
surely,
If you look at some of the things old people wear. I wasn't wearing like smart
elasticated
trousers,
waistband
but with like those elastic sort of shoes, hospital shoes. I wasn't wearing those.
Or those sort of weatherproof. I think they have chains on them for the snow. Have you seen those?
There were people in ripped jeans on there. And that's all right.
On the RVP, the Royal Variety
for goodness
ripped
sake.
jeans.
Well, you know what? I think it's a slight
Outrageous. hangover
from a slight forelock tugging attitude towards the upper class, and I don't think you need to have that.
At least we can safely establish that that's faded away.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Just checking Twitter because my shirt is untucked, but we're on radio and it doesn't matter.
I think you'll be all right. The fact is, I was trying to be smart.
Maybe that's what it was. That people saw that.
Yeah. No one wants to see an old man try and fail. Not twice in a week. Anyway. Speaking of fashion, I had a bit of a shock at the shoe shop the other day.
Shock at the shoe shop?
Which one were you at?
doing your vocal warm-up?
It's a shock at the shoe shop. Isn't that the Irish Parliament?
Can I say, I was trying to do my headphones the Rod Stewart way.
Oh, yeah, upside down. You look like you've got some sort of neck clamp.
I don't like it. And I don't need to worry about my hairdo, so there we go.
Yeah, we're just remarking that Rod Stewart wears headphones under his chin so it doesn't affect his spikes.
Yeah. So the shoe shop, was it not the oversized one in your...
No, I'm kind of frightened of that.
How are they getting on there?
Well, I tell you, I hurry past. Some people get, if they pass an Undertaker's or something, they don't like it. But the large shoe shop really freaks me out. The idea of everyone that goes in there's got enormous big feet.
Yeah,
I mean, do you know what? I remember one of the only people that scared me when I was a child were some of my parents' friends, and the Jolly Green Giant and Lou Reed, as you know.
Yeah, it's a great combo.
Yes,
but. Did you find the Jolly Green Giant scary?
No.
He was painted green. There was a vulnerability about him, and he had that funny little halter neck dress.
But I associated him with sweet corn, which is such a sort of, jolly thing.
Yeah, it's not very threatening, is it?
No.
Yeah, but he had to wear evening wear, and he was painted green.
Evening wear?
It was sort of evening wear, that dress.
Like Frank.
Do you remember? It was a green, sort of one-shouldered dress made of leaves.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
He was. Right. I mean, he was ahead of his time in many ways.
Yes.
He was green for a start off, when a lot of us weren't aware, and he wore what he felt was right.
Yes,
I respected the Jolly Green Giant for that. But there's always people like you, of course, Emily, that alienated him. Yeah, anyway. So I was going to get some. I've found out that my child is in between Crocs.
In between?
Yeah, apparently there's a size where one Croc is too tight and the others hang too loose. And what you have to do is, if you're a child, I mean, obviously our feet, we've done growing now.
Yeah.
Done growing, of course, is the name of my house.
Yes.
But we just have to bide our time now until he grows into the next.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awful to feel that Crocs are not for you for maybe another 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that right then? So there's nothing one can do about it?
You can't wear an insole really on a Croc.
Not really.
And Crocs and socks, as you know, that's disapproved of.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
I did a bit of styling with Buzz this week.
Did you?
Because he had one of his plays, he had so many. And one of them, I said, what are you dressing as? He said, Bob Cratchit.
Yeah.
I said, okay, well, do you want a hand? He said, yeah, that'd be great. And he had on a stripy shirt. He put on a waistcoat, which I liked, and then he put a black sort of dinner jacket over it.
Yeah.
And he said, what do you think? And I love that he asked my opinion. I said, I like it, but I think it needs some sort of Victoriana. You need to look like you're coming back from...
Scarf or something.
You got it in one.
Yeah.
I said, we need a scarf. He said, well, I don't think my dad's got that. I said, well, what has he got a tie?
I'm in between scarves at the moment.
Yeah.
My neck is just the wrong size for a scarf.
I said, I suspect there'll be some sort of Peaky Blinders merch in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
good point.
I said, Cass said, go and have a look. I said, I can't look. I can't rummage through. I didn't rummage, can I just say? And Frank looked relieved. There are a few untouched shirts. And then I said, this'll do. Picked up a black, what looked like, I just saw some sort of silky sleeves. He said, Faz said, this looks absolutely great. He put the cap on. He looked very Gilbert O'Sullivan. It looked fantastic. I tied the scarf. Kathy said, what's that round your neck? She said, that's my very expensive Cos top. And I tied her expensive top round his neck.
Oh, as a sort of a neckerchief.
Yeah, well, I'd
thing.
improvise. She said, so she made us take it off.
Oh, that's not very supportive. Kid, Bob Cratch is quite a good part. I think you've got
Yeah.
No, but I didn't realise.
Enable when
If
you
someone took my top, to be fair, and tied it round someone's neck to make them look like Bob Cratchit, it was a nice going out top.
Yeah.
I felt bad. Anyway, in the end, Buzz decided not to go. We had to abandon the scarf, is what I'm saying.
And also, Bob Cratchit was very much a staying in kind of a guy.
Good point.
He didn't go to Cos.
He's a
as far as I
workaholic. He's a
recall.
workaholic, Bob Cratchit.
That's true.
He was in the office all hours. I mean, for goodness sake.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
583, you were talking earlier about how Buzz says...
Is he the one who sang, "Look at me, I'm 5'8".
This is Colin. He says, Frank, what about a different brand of Crocs? Might be a different measurement, which is a lovely, helpful...
Mock Crocs?
Frank was saying earlier, in case you weren't listening, that Buzz, he's outgrown his Crocs. Well, he's mid-size.
He's in between Crocs.
He's in between
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
You know how actors are in between jobs?
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
between Crocs
Oh, I
sizes.
do, my dear.
Yes, yes.
I suppose actors who dress up as animals, they're quite often in between Crocs.
That is a very...
Thank you.
or Captain Hook.
Yes.
If you play Captain Hook. Yeah. I to be honest, I wasn't fully aware that that there are mock Crocs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They've
Well,
been a
also-
bit
You want
lax.
to try a garden centre or something like that?
It's
bit
difficult.
lax on the copyright Crocs.
A bit.
I've had to get... I'm an in-betweener on the size front.
Oh.
3.5 I am.
Oh, yeah.
Is my size, 3.5 shoe.
3.5, that's... I mean, imagine.
No
It's a
need to go
wonder-
in that shop near you
I
for
think-
Emily, is there?
I think an alarm would go off if Emily went in that shop. Wow, they'd think you'd come... You were the lady who'd come in to put the lace holes in. Wow. That's a tiny shoe, isn't it?
One, thank you. One just adjusts, my shoes are always slightly too small or slightly too big.
But it seems that Crocs don't do halves, is the bottom
A
line.
lot of shoes companies don't, is what I'm saying. I'm afraid.
Well, that's the modern world.
But I think 583's suggestion of off-brand or what a Cockney guy I know calls moody Crocs. Moody Crocs might be the answer.
Moody meaning not official?
Yeah.
Yes, moody.
Oh, like pirate Crocs.
Yes.
Like moody.
Speaking of Captain Hook.
Pirate Allen.
Yes.
Like moody Calvin Kleins.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Or moody Disney figures
Exactly.
on the on fairground rides. When
Yeah.
someone's painted a not slightly gaunt Mickey Mouse, you get sometimes. And you think, if ever the Disney people come here, you people are in serious copyright
Yes.
trouble. But they never seem to go there.
And the celebrities who always look a bit like a hybrid of Pink and Taylor Swift and...
Well, we all do, dear.
Okay.
Can I run a technical question by you guys as
Sure.
well? I got a gift from my sister-in-law.
Oh, yeah.
It's well, I don't know. I don't know if it's got a name. It's but it's I'm supposed to stick it on my phone. I'll show it to you guys. You won't.
That's an early gift.
You won't see this at home, but I'm just going to tell you, it's like one of those hologram stickers. Yeah.
That's exactly what I would describe it as.
It is a hologram sticker. It's not light one. That's like that's when I always get annoyed when people say, yeah, then you get people like Lionel Messi, and I think, well, who is that? Do you mean physically like him, or
is that your Christmas present?
It could well be. Yeah, I didn't identify. It wasn't wrapped.
No.
But anyway, it says here, every living thing has its own electromagnetic field.
Right.
Every day is a school day.
Yeah.
In fact, every living function, whether conscious or subconscious, physical or mental, is powered by low levels of electrical current in our bodies. I didn't know that.
My mumbo-jumbo radar is going off, but let's see if it continues.
It says, have you ever thought about why we use electric shock paddles to restart a heart? I'm going to be straight with you. I hadn't thought.
You hadn't?
I hadn't. I'm quite busy. You know, and to be honest,
if I saw that last episode of Holby.
Well, if it comes up, you know, that I need to be, I need the paddles
resuscitated.
Even then, I'm not going to be thinking. No, I'm going to be, you know.
Your manager
will probably be thinking, ow! Oh, I'm glad I'm awake again.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll be using those paddles, and your manager will be on the phone leaving messages saying, "I think the shirt thing has died down now. That's the good news."
But in the midst of violent shuddering, I won't be thinking, "Oh no, what do they use?" So anyway, the idea is that I put this. Can I just give you a little bit more? It says this is the same technology that's used to protect computer CPUs. Lost me complete. What on earth is that? Without protection, a computer CPU would not be able to function. What, again? He said, due to all the conflicting electromagnetic chaos. I mean, what's going on? Finally, it says, wasn't a reason that we've begun using that same technology to protect our... So the honor is I stick this on my phone. And it won't, I won't be... It gives you a list of things that it can cause if you don't, and including brain fog. Again, something I didn't even know.
I don't like...
I don't want to get all Professor Brian Cox, but I don't think brain fog is a science term, do you?
Brain fog. I'm more of a Phileas fan.
Yeah.
Myself.
Yes. He's a brother of Phileas.
Yeah, I'm a Phileas fan.
Brain. He's probably known as that.
Just a typo for Brian Fogg.
The clever younger brother.
What was Foggy's really name? Maybe. Remember Foggy from Last of the Summer Wine? Yes. Maybe that was his name. Maybe it should be Brian. It's a typo. Brian Fogg. Anyway, apparently my sister-in-law paid £15 for this.
Wow-wee.
I feel bad that I haven't put it on my phone yet. But you know what?
I feel bad you announcing what she spent on your gift.
No, that's fine. I haven't put it on because, to be honest, my thinking hasn't been very clear. Just like that. I've had to have this big red light on the back of my brain so people don't drive into me.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Frank's been passing the what is it called, the hologram thing?
I think it might be. It might be called E-Link.
Okay.
Emily and I had quite different responses to it. I described it as high-tech Lucky Heather.
Yes.
And Emily was particularly affronted by the font that was used on the...
Yes.
Yeah, the font didn't... I didn't like the font.
I feel
good.
No, I feel bad that this was bought for me, and I'm not mocking. I'm just questioning it. To me, it seemed it was something I hadn't heard of before. That you could put a sticker on your phone that stopped your brain fogging up. But you know what? They laughed at Christopher Columbus when he said the world was round.
Yeah, they were easily pleased, that comedy audience.
Exactly. God, I wish I could find out what gig they went to.
See, people say that, but actually they laughed and then they said it's funny because it's true.
That's it. All comedy is truth. That's what Christopher Columbus said. So,
do your world as
so
round
he went on
material
stage
again,
and he
Chris.
went, it's great to be here. So apparently, you know the world, obviously we all know the world because we're in it. Bit of a snigger. Where's he going with this?
Yeah.
It's round. become applause. Imagine, how do you follow that?
Oh.
It's like working your way through the other planet.
That's only one way. You got to untuck your shirt.
Whereas Uranus, globular, obviously go straight to Uranus, try and get the easy laugh.
Yeah,
the way
I
comedians do.
Definitely.
You'll notice that I sidestepped it with my pronunciation.
Yeah, I couldn't have done that. 199 has texted, morning family. The good thing about mock Crocs is that you can wear socks with them. My drawers are chock-a-block with mock Croc socks. That's from Dr. Zeus. It's not. It's Doug. It's Doug.
Yes, he could get it. Very good. He could get a thick fisherman sock.
Well, I went many years ago. I did a television program called Room 101.
I recall
that many.
And Scarlett Moffat was on it.
Oh, yes.
And Scarlett Moffat chose Crocs to go into room. It was a programme where you put in things you didn't like.
Yes.
And I got some trainer socks especially made with holes stitched in, so that they coincided with the holes in the Crocs. So you could wear socks and no one knew you were wearing them. Who the blue blazes has got their phone on?
Me.
Oh, Emily.
I'm sorry.
Is it the least professional thing you've ever done?
Absolutely not.
Well,
legend.
Exactly. Well, I'm.
It's a news alert.
Is it? It didn't sound like a news alert.
It was.
Or don't.
It says the election is over. What does it mean for your money?
If it's the Queen, we have to do that.
Oh, the election is over. What does it mean for your money?
Okay. Well, I haven't got to buy all that free broadband.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
I tell you what, I was having a sort of a version of a Christmas dinner the other day. It was just one of those sandwiches that's like a Christmas sandwich.
Oh, nice.
And
from a particular retailer that you want to mention, or did you not enjoy?
Just one of those sandwich. I know it's very nice.
Okay.
I like any kind of a Christmassy meal thing. But I started to think about they didn't have the vegetarian option, and I was thinking I've started to feel a bit sorry for vegetarians because I think vegans have kind of.
They've taken them on the inside lane.
They have.
Absolutely.
It's like the agnostics.
Oh, yeah.
What a band.
Well, they've had the same problem. The atheists or the vegans of the religious world. You know, the poor agnostics have got nothing now.
I remember when it was quite a conversation piece. If someone was a vegetarian, I think. I mean, if even vegetarians that said, but I do eat fish, eat fish. They were still seen as like Greta Thunberg figures. They were asked about their morality and their motivations. Yeah. Now they're second-class citizens behind the vegans.
Yeah.
Vegetarianism, I just think they're a bit 70s.
I know, but I do feel sorry because they used to be like have-a-go heroes.
Yeah.
And now it's those people that don't do it properly, the vegetarians.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, if there's any listening, look, I still respect you guys.
We've had
with your dairy products. Sorry?
754. We have a correctionian from a doctor.
Hold on.
This is from 754. In the meantime, I would speak to him this. So, doctor. Like a Doctor Who villain.
Or a doctor. I think you have to
Seize him. I'll do in a 70s actress voice. Seize him, guards.
As we're comedians, I should probably say doctor when I talk to him.
Point.
But anyway, what's the... I'll see if he earns the jingle.
Okay. Correctioni. I'm a doctor on my day off.
Yeah, we've all used that line.
Laughed a little too hardly there.
Exactly.
Technically, by telling you this, I'm practicing privately. Bill on its way.
Ah.
I like this doctor. Call me. Number one.
Labour only lost on Thursday and already we're doing private medicine on the show. The influence has just gone.
Yeah, he's probably the kind of doctor that's all we're practicing now that you had. Or Frank's idea of a doctor who said when Frank congratulated him on his handwriting.
Oh, he said, yes, when I did handwriting at school, I rather tried. And then he said, in fact, we were taught handwriting by Traitor Blunt.
Traitor Blunt.
Traitor Blunt. Which is a reference to Anthony Blunt, who was the Queen's art
curator.
They knew that.
They might not have known him.
No, they knew that.
Okay, and he was involved with the whole Burgess and McLean thing.
He was.
Google it.
Traitor Blunt. But
I do you Google that? You didn't know? Giggle that. No, who was that guy just shouting?
It sounds like at least 3 of my relatives.
He sounds like someone who dwells within Alan Cochrane. Carry on.
Okay, so this doctor continues. Number 1, we do have electric currents in our body.
Okay.
One of the highest potential differences we know of is in our mitochondria.
Okay.
Number 2, we don't use paddles to start hearts. We stop them when they're in a dangerous rhythm.
Oh.
All the best. Listener 712 Phil.
Oh no, but he didn't tell me if I should stick this on my phone or not.
Yeah, Phil.
I'll be honest, I have been trying to stick it on. You've got to take the case off. I can't get the case off.
We can help you with that.
Thank you. I'm an old man, Commander. Can I say we have a very, very, very special guest, very special to me in the third.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say who it is yet. I'll tell you in the second.
I better get out of my dressing gown.
In the second hour, but one of my heroes will be here for the last hour of the show.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
We've got a guest coming in.
Yes.
I'm not going to say who it is yet, but I've had an oil leak in my bag.
Oh. You're that excited. Wow.
Big guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've had an oil leak in your bag, literally.
Yes, I have. It's sea berry moisturising face oil.
What is a sea berry?
8, 12, 15.
8, 12, 15.
Is that like an anemone? I think it's an anemone.
I don't know, but I tell you this, it costs a bit. We've had some. Well, I'm delighted about. We've had a lovely.
I think you should keep your friends close and your enemies close.
Yes. My enemy's an enemy is my friend.
Yeah.
Please don't do puns,
We're not going to do them.
Please.
I was going to do an hour more of those before the guest got here.
Oh wow, we didn't read this one out, did we? About the crown.
No.
Okay.
Would you like me to?
Yes, I would.
Bossing me about. That's fine.
Okay.
Morning all. I'm a bit late to the party, but started watching The Crown. It's brilliant. Looking forward to the scene where the Queen tells Frank to hurry up on stage. One of my favourite Frank anecdotes.
I wonder if they'll have that. I think not.
Although they do say, although there are many, so technically that text is praise. So normally we wouldn't read it, but we made the exception.
No, it's a good thought.
That's Ollie and Salford.
There's so many aspects of the Queen's life that you'd love to see on there.
And her shouting at you is one of them.
Yeah, I should think so.
Yeah.
I've not seen it.
Did you meet Will and Kate then?
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
What about that?
Yes, you did
Were
tell
you
us.
here that week?
You did.
Maybe
I
you
don't think
weren't
I
here.
was, dear.
No. No, it was. We talked.
They laughed at some of your jokes.
Frank hogged him.
Well, we don't know that for certain.
Oh, right.
Because they, sometimes.
Well, I know they cheat it, dear.
The reaction shots get moved about a bit. They might have been sitting there thinking, "Look at his shirt! I have never in all my years."
Well, I hope they didn't. They might have used a shot of them laughing at, I don't know, Luke Evans or someone. I know he was singing.
Yeah, but I think they seem jolly types.
Okay.
But who wouldn't be?
Yeah.
Frank, I had a look at your tree. When I popped round to your apartment this week.
It's a biggie, isn't it?
Absolutely beautiful.
Is it?
It really is.
My partner is very good on the Christmas trees.
She's great at the trees.
I think you should get a big tree. You work hard.
Exactly.
Get yourself a nice tree at Christmas.
But as I said to you, I had a big should I, shouldn't I? What's the eco thing to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the end, people said you're better off getting a real tree because they'll turn it into wood chips and it can be reused.
Well, the tree, the original purpose of the tree, there are so many, aren't there? Because it's tied up with a medieval tradition as well. But it was originally wasn't it designed to scare away the devil?
Was it really?
But I gained entry anyway
Still got
to your place.
Okay.
And the bauble as well was the apple. I didn't know this. I found this out this week.
This is absolutely... I'm putting this in the same. I'm putting it in the same box as the
Ballet link.
as the sticker that stops me from getting brain fog.
How dare you?
Shouldn't the tree point downwards if it's for the devil?
Well, the red.
Back
well, some of
you
them do.
go.
Some of them do. The upside down Christmas tree was last year. It came out. It was very in vogue. But it's black trees this year you need to get, or wooden.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to recycle this year, so I'm going to strip the branches off and use the trunk for colonic irrigation.
Oh.
Yeah,
Like sort of pipe cleaners.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, Frank's
I mean, obviously, you have to bury the trunk then in a leg case. But you know what? I did it last year and I felt really, really clean. And how often do any of us feel that?
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Emily's having to do a full makeup bag wipe down because there's oil on all of it.
The seaberry oil gets everywhere.
Did we find out what a sea berry is? Did anyone know?
No, could
Nobody's
someone
told us
text
that.
us in, please?
And I mean, we have had missives, including 571 has asked, I'm ashamed to admit that I don't know the story of Traitor Blunt. Please could you allow Frank to don his leather elbow-patched jumper of history teacher and inform me of the tale? All the best and no praise, John. That could be that he thinks the show isn't worthy of praise, or he could just be playing by the rules that we've set.
Well, many years ago, very, very briefly, it turned out that there were some Russian spies involved in British high society, I suppose.
Different times.
Different. Burgess and Maclean were the main two men who were named, but there was this. There was what I think they called the fourth man.
Yes.
And for years they didn't know who it was, and then it was announced that it was the Queen's art advisor, Sir Anthony Blunt, who was one of the most incredibly posh people, one of those kind of people. And it turned out that he taught at this doctor I had school.
Okay.
So that was.
Can I say that's a new thing? Is everyone I know has some story about either themselves or someone they know being approached by MI5?
Yeah, I've never been approached by them.
But everyone says they have.
I think
I think someone comes up and says, "Have you got the time?" And they think, "Oh, that was MI5 approaching me."
I think a lot of people who go to Oxbridge get approached by.
Yeah, but not
do you think
too
they
many
actually do, or do you think
no, exactly, they don't.
Do you think it's like a sort of an elitist version of everybody in working class communities says that they had trials at a football?
Yes, I think it's a bit
Brentford.
of an urban myth.
Yeah, I was on the books at Brentford. I've had very, very...
I got tapped up by MI5. Same thing.
Is it always Brentford? Yes.
If you get an Uber, then you'll be driven by a bloke, possibly, who had trials for Brentford. If you get a hansom cab, he will have been approached by MI5 when he left university.
I always say when I hear that story, I say, yeah, sure you did. We were talking about trees.
Of the Christmas variety.
And I was telling you, yes, so the apple is the temptation, hence the bauble we have. I found all this out this week.
Oh, nice.
Frank looks worried about this. He's starting to rethink the tree.
No, I'm not. I don't think it works as well as that Father Christmas represents the devil.
I don't know about him. I see.
Because the red and black is the traditional devil things. No. If there's any Bournemouth fans listening, don't get up. And also he comes down the chimney, thus associated with flames. And the killer point is that his name is an anagram of Satan.
And he doesn't help the obesity crisis any.
No, and he's all about materialism and stuff. So yeah.
Actually, thinking about it, Santa was one of the early #influencers, wasn't he? Really.
And also, just on a pure style front, if you're going to wear a white and red suit, black belt in the middle. It doesn't work. It cuts you in half anyway, and he could do with all the help he can.
You think it's not flattering?
I've always found the black Santa belt really problematic.
What would you have gone for?
Nothing. Just have trousers fitted that accentuate his waist.
Can I say...
He hasn't got that bad a physique. He just needs to make the most of it.
Can I tell you a story? I was at the airport this week. I think it was Gatwick. And I said, as we was going, I'm on tour.
Who cares?
And I was going
Who
through.
cares, Al?
I was going through security, and I said to the woman, "Do I need to take my belt off?" And she said, "You're not wearing a belt." and I thought, no, if I wasn't wearing a belt, my trousers would. And then I thought, I've been eating quite a lot on tour. And I looked down, and sure enough, I wasn't wearing a belt.
Next thing you'll tell me, your shirt's been untucked.
Oh, it's all so wrong.
Frank, why I don't like it is that as soon as Santa puts a belt on, it's from the real world. I thought the whole point about Santa, he's a magical creature, isn't he? For any children that are listening, he's a magical creature.
Yeah, but we don't know that he actually wears a belt for sure.
He does.
And also, you'd think
every picture of him he's got.
You'd think any uneven brick on the chimney would catch on his belt. It'd be really annoying.
Flaps hanging off.
Oh no! Oh no! I was just joking.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
110 has some Santa sartorial updates.
Okay.
Santa's belt does not hold up his trousers. Call the police.
It goes over his tunic.
It's to keep his buttonless tunic closed. Someone should give him a zip for Christmas. Okay.
Yeah, or poppers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean.
Oh, I don't know about those.
No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he gets
Not
to
like
that.
at a party.
I suppose he's
Save
gonna,
those for Pride.
inevitably he's going to deliver somewhere where they're going to be. Anyway,
So
Maybe that's for Boxing Day when he's finished the big day.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cut loose a bit. Have some fun.
that's his day off, Al.
Yeah.
What he does on his day off is his business.
You know, I wonder when I'm a very, very old man near the end and they ask me about regrets, I'll say, well, I think the Father Christmas amyl nitrate material was probably, looking back, a terrible error.
You're getting posher as you get older.
I know. Oh, yeah, I think everyone does that.
Like, you're turning into Traitor Blunt on your deathbed.
I'm going to say that our guest in the last hour.
We should do a thing before he comes on to it, like a special thing to build it up.
I'll see if I've got
I'm
like a
very
really
excited about this guest.
Okay, I'm going to say this is. I'm trying to find someone that really fits, but we don't.
I actually love this guest's wife. I love him as well.
I'll tell you what.
Oh, yeah.
There is a very famous writer for television, specifically, I would say, though he has written for film as well. He's from Paisley in Scotland, and I think there aren't many people I would call a genius, but I think he actually is a genius. He wrote and show-ran Doctor Who for a long time. Sherlock is also one of his projects. It is, of course, Stephen Moffat, and he'll be with us from 10 o'clock.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Frank has been... I mean, this is your Christmas day, getting Stephen on.
Very exciting.
I can't wait to boast about all the old actors I know from the 70s.
Well, you usually can't wait.
Yeah.
And I never
to do that.
What's different?
How dare you?
Anyway, I saw a Christmas tree, the likes of which I ain't never seen before. And it was in an East European...
Is it Vilnius Airport?
Ah, Vilnius.
Lithuania.
Yes.
And it was decorated...
Do you know I was once taught Pilates by the former Lithuanian Sportswoman of the Year?
You weren't.
I was. It's a truie.
A truie is...
Do you know, surely you could have got a spread out of that in Hello magazine.
Well,
and I mean
I
spread.
asked, but she disagreed.
It's disgusting.
Honestly. It's... by the way, we haven't mentioned that...
Vilnius.
that Alan Cochrane has had his head shaved. They're just...
Oh, yeah.
No one's even
that-
referred to it.
I think that's quite right, though, because it is radio that we're doing, and I don't think it's affected my voice.
I wonder if they can hear
All right, of the
against your
headphone.
headphone.
It was very Skinhead Escapes.
It was. I
Yeah.
was a bit astonished. When I
I'll be
came in
honest
this
with
morning.
you. It started with a beard trim, and then I was gonna go for.
Is that an old Hot Chocolate song?
Yes, that's right.
Started with a beard trim.
I was gonna go long hair and short beard, and in the end, I've gone very short hair by accident of not.
Once you've set the clippers, why reset?
Do you know why I like it?
Exactamundo.
It's very framed for a crime you didn't commit.
Yeah. But with an intelligence in the eye. It's John McVicker. When I was inside, I did a degree.
All of this is several steps up from what my wife thinks I look like, but we'll go with it. We'll go with it. She's not a fan, though.
Is she not?
Not a fan of the short hair, but I'm not a fan of the haircut off a hairdresser, so...
you did it yourself, did you?
I did do it myself.
Did you? It looks good.
By accident,
No, but I think it suits you. I
also am fed up of having hair. So,
and you know what it's good for?
How many bald men are listening to this then that hate you now?
They hate me anyway.
I think it's a bit show-offy of Alan because he knows he could look good whatever the hairstyle.
I mean, that is not what's happening, but I'll take it.
Is it Cara Delevingne in a boiler suit? It's a bit Cara
Delevingne because he knows. He's like, look, shave my hair. Myself with clippers still look like Nordic detective noir hero.
Cara Delevingne could wear one of those scene of the crime all over bodysuits that you see the police wearing and still look great. It's a gift. It is a gift.
And Alan looks like he would be wearing one of those.
No, he'd be the photo of the bloke they're looking for.
Frank Skinner.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
So this Christmas tree we've been talking
Vilnius Airport.
Where is Vilnius?
Lithuania.
Yes, of course.
And it's been described by some people as the world's least, when I say some people, me, the world's least Christmassy Christmas tree. Because it was decorated with items confiscated from passengers.
Hello.
That's not me. I've turned mine off.
It's not me, is it?
Was it a phone? I just thought it was a Christmas sound effect.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
It was decorated with items confiscated from passengers' hand luggage.
Mm-hmm.
So it featured penknives, lighters, a lot of lighters.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd raided my childhood home.
Mm-hmm.
There were scissors, a trowel.
A lot of scissors, though.
What about the pink trowel?
What worried me about, what a club that was.
Now, that was when I was putting my makeup on that time.
There's a lot of scissors with green handles.
Yeah, it's too convenient, sure.
I think they might have sacrificed fact for foliage.
Oh, very good.
We've all done it.
Very good.
But there was the body of the tree is green-handled scissors, so you can see how that works.
Unless there was one person that was, perhaps taking 100 people on a crafting trip.
Or a hairdresser's convention, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
But I don't think if they were going to theme the tree around confiscated items, we should say the idea behind it was that the security team at Vilnius Airport erected it in order to... They said they wanted it to be an educational message on the importance of aviational security.
I think it's a clever idea.
I think it's a weird message. I'm going to be honest. I think it's really strange. Like, they're saying, if you don't want your items on next year's tree, check the baggage requirements before you fly, as if that's really embarrassing that your items might be on next year's tree. Like, who cares?
Also, if you're going to have a tree themed around Das ist verboten items, there were some better things they could have gone for. Deodorants. I'd love a deodorant tree.
Well, one thing that I bet they were waiting for someone to try and take a kung fu throwing star on the plane so they could put that on the top. I bet they were thinking, oh, please.
Is it shuriken? Is it shuriken throwing star? Is that what they're called?
Well, of course. I go to you for the technical stuff.
I think I remember them being advertised in Combat magazine when I was younger.
But I bet they were doing cut price tickets like for martial arts classes and hoping that someone would bring one of those on.
Yeah. Apparently water pistols. I think there was a water pistol as well because they're banned.
I didn't see any bottles over 200 ml on the tree, which you'd think there'd be a glut of those.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
you would.
Did you know also you're only allowed baby food is banned unless you have a baby present?
That is a good rule.
Yeah.
If any of you...
more ageism.
Yeah, exactly. The adults with dentures community being ruled out again.
I live basically on those small Cowan Gate jars of apple and damson.
What are models? How are they meant to take their food through?
Yeah, I think they're in the normal tissue box.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
I took my son to New York.
Oh, did you?
Did you?
Yeah, and we were taken aside at customs, the security bit. And the woman said, the X-ray suggests that you have a firearm in your bag. Which is, I said, I wanted to guess what it was. And I said, I definitely don't. But you do start thinking, whenever, in a moment like that, I'm so lacking in complete conviction in my memory, I thought, have I packed a firearm?
Did you?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, did I?
You're like a James Bond henchman. I love that about you.
Anyway, what I'd done is in the W8 Smiths at the airport, I'd bought Buzz a Star Wars magazine.
Oh, excellent. And I'm getting the old intonation back. Good.
Yeah,
Frank, it's Star Wars.
It's
not Star Wars.
Anyway, I bought him a Star Wars magazine, and there was kids' comics and magazines. They come in like a plastic bag, and they have loads of free gifts with them.
Yeah.
You can generally tell the more toys on the front, the less substance inside, which is a rule I apply to people.
Yes.
As well. But in the midst of all these cards and pictures and stuff, there was a plastic gun in there which had come up on the, and they made me undo the cellophane and took the gun off me. They took the gun from a small child.
Oh
God!
Yeah, but we couldn't travel with the plastic Star Wars gun.
Brutal. And recently I flew, where did I fly? I think I flew to Switzerland and back, and I got home, and for some reason I'd done the whole journey with a metal teaspoon in my coat pocket.
But what could you do? What you thinking?
Well, you said what could you do, but they're not allowed. Are
they not?
No, on the food thing on the plane, they give you little plastic cutlery, don't they? They're worried about the metal.
I suppose
they're very strict on the water, as you know, as well.
A man with your arm strength could probably kill someone the way one takes on a hard-boiled egg.
I'm not
could
strong.
Just really batter their skull in.
Also, Frank, with the current haircut.
Yeah, well, exactly.
I look dangerous,
I'm just saying, good luck at customs, mate.
I mean, one could argue you shouldn't get on a plane because you could kill someone with your bare hands.
I don't think that's true, but hey, I like to hear that reputation being spread.
Good. I'll do my best.
It's not true, but
yes, no one ever says that about me. Could you kill a man, Frank? Eventually. I've been having a lot.
You'd practical joke them to death.
My tour manager travels with his phone on aeroplanes. And that unsettles me.
What? Not on airplane mode?
Not on airplane mode. And he says...
He's bad to the bone.
He says it's a myth. The whole thing's a myth. And
he's one of those.
If everyone said that.
I said, but I wish you'd test your myths when I'm not on the plane.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, but I flew with him a couple of times this week, and... I did that very English thing of not asking if it was off. There's this theory that sometimes pilots fly into... Jed Mercurio told me this, who was an ex-Air Force person, that sometimes planes fly into mountains and stuff because both pilots think, well, he must have noticed it. Must be okay.
Wow.
Happy Christmas, everyone. Wow.
That's a great fact, though.
That's how polite we are. I'm sure he'd say something if... Wow! Yeah. That's my impression of what happened.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
I am extremely excited, and that our guest this morning is a man who I regard as something of a genius. I'm going to give you the fanfare. He is... Stephen Moffat is here.
Hooray.
We're going to that thing that they do on Steve Wright in the afternoon.
Oh, well, thank you. How incredibly touching.
Did you clap as well then, Steve?
No, I thought that would be bad form.
I think on radio you can thicken your own applause.
Well, there's a tip. I'm in my radio infancy.
Oh, well. So, you must have you written radio drama?
I never have, not once. No, I don't know how they do that. It must be really complicated.
Oh,
radio, it's like television that's developed a fault, isn't it? I mean, it's like the screen's gone down. I wouldn't know how to do it.
Yeah, it's cheaper.
Yeah,
I think
there's
find.
that. Well, there's my retirement job.
Now, let's get straight to the to why you're here, because I don't know about you, but when I do an interview, if they don't mention the product early on, I start to get anxious. You have produced, you and Mark Gatiss, the fabulous Mark Gatiss, I've produced a new version of Dracula.
Yes.
And it's, when is it on?
January the 1st, 2nd and 3rd.
I mean, it's easy to remember. It's as easy as...
1, 2, 3.
Exactly.
Very good.
Now, I've watched it, and I'll be honest with you, I thought it was brilliant, but it was also really quite frightening. And I'm not a very good horror person. I mean, there was some bits, which I probably won't mention, that, oh, man.
Oh, good.
Oh, man.
It's Dracula. It's supposed to be
well,
fun.
exactly.
Good. That's great.
Yeah.
How many meetings did you have with the BBC about whether it should be a female Dracula or not?
Absolutely none at all.
Really?
No, there was
That's
no
where the
meeting of
money
that
is
kind.
now, Stephen.
I'm glad we're having cast the part we've missed by one. Already, we've jumped the shark and it hasn't been on yet. So already.
Well, there has been.
There have been female Draculas. There have been female vampires. No shortage.
There's been so many versions of Dracula in the past in the sort of Hammer thing that they've done. There was a thing called Blackula. You can guess the rest.
I know.
Yeah, so it's all been done. But this is it. I thought it was sort of traditional, but then also it wasn't. If you know.
I think there's a huge strand of it that is. We were going for the very traditional Dracula who looks like Dracula and who is properly bad, and he does wear the cape, and he does live in a scary castle, and of course there are bats in moonlight, and of course there are terrified peasants saying, "Oh, don't go to Castle Dracula," and all that stuff. Because I think those are the treats you expect. Like even when we updated Sherlock all those years ago. And people were saying, there'll be no deerstalker. And we were saying, of course there'll be a deerstalker. We're not doing Sherlock Holmes without a deerstalker. But some things you expect, some things you need.
It was an ironic deerstalker.
Well, I'm not sure the distinction between an ironic deerstalker and a deerstalker is visible to people with less than your intellectual refinement. That's a tough one. I'm
taking that as a compliment, certainly. In fact, can we turn that into our jingle for the next series? No, did you feel that you had to watch loads and loads of Draculas, you and Mark?
That's the kind of thing we do anyway.
Okay,
there's not a lot of provocation involved there. Shall we watch all Draculas ever made? Yes, that's just a normal Saturday. That's fun. So yes, we did, and that was great fun. There's some great movies out there and some fairly bad ones, and there is Blackula, which occupies a special place all by itself.
Did you go as far as Count Dracula?
I didn't. I've seen Count Dracula before. We decided not to. There's a couple I missed. There were a couple. Towards the end, there was a point where I thought I have to stop.
You drew the line at poultry.
Yes.
Or was it just concern that you thought Count Dracula might influence you too much in the work that you were then going to do?
We have a comedy disposition.
Yes,
so
exactly.
it might go that way.
I should say in the defence of Dracula,
thanks.
I don't need to defend it, but someone who's thinking, oh God, this is going to be wholly terrifying from start to finish. There are funny bits as well in it. As I don't think, have you ever written anything that didn't have funny bits?
No.
You've got to have this.
No, I mean, Dracula, there's always got a comedy slant to Dracula, to be fair. But we did a screening at the BFI the other day, and people said, gosh, that was really frightening, what the audience did mostly was laugh. There was a lot of laughter. It's scary like a ghost train.
Can I quote?
Giggle.
Am I allowed to quote my favourite line from it?
Yes, because I think it's in the trailer.
Oh, okay. He said when Dracula was asked, someone asked him to do something, and he says, look, I'm undead, not unreasonable.
Oh yeah.
That's a very fine stuff. And he said it like that. He didn't say I am undead and not undead, because he starts off, doesn't he? Quite. Romanian.
Well, he is. I mean, he's a Transylvanian gentleman. And through a process that people will be thrilled to discover on January the 1st, he developed something of approximating an English accent.
Yeah, and he gets better looking, I think it's fair to say.
He gets very good looking. So am I allowed to say that? But
I think that's all right. Yeah.
He's
Dracula's supposed to be handsome. Okay. He's meant to be a handsome.
He sort of becomes Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Well, if I knew who that was, then that would be...
It's a sort of lovable Londoner with a dark interior.
Oh, okay. If you say so.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I'm struggling with me switches. I'm not used to having well, I should say, in case you're thinking a guest is a weekly thing on this show, we've had, I think, you, Neil Gaiman and David Baddiel in the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Russell. You had Russell, didn't you?
Oh, we had Russell.
Don't forget the showrunner.
No, that was a special.
All right.
And Al Gore.
Yeah,
those are the only ones.
The specials are different.
Yeah, I'm afraid he got
an
his own
obvious
special.
grouping.
I was surprised you didn't pop up as a Dracula Castle. Maybe like a serf or someone outside.
Oh yeah, that would have been tragic.
I only cast him when he's been camping in my garden for 2 years. I think it's the only way to clear him out.
It's funny you should say that,
Less
Stephen, because I'd like
undignified
to...
begging about it.
Yeah, which brings me to something Stephen once said of you. One of the best things that's ever been said. It's no secret that Frank's been pitching vigorously to get into Doctor Who for a while. He's been volunteering to be third monster on the left as long as I've been in this job.
That's absolutely true. I thought it was... You know when you get those men in black woolly hats that used to stand on the waterfront in old films waiting to be employed? It was like that. It was that method.
Eventually it happens.
It did it. See, that's it. If you keep asking, keep knocking on the door.
Have you started again yet?
Did you have a meeting, Stephen, saying, Frank Skinner... I honestly want to know what happened. Did you say, he keeps going on about it, we better give him the part?
No, we did actually legitimately think this was a part that would be good for Frank. We did. We were quite grown up about it. It wasn't a case of he's kidnapped 2 of my children. Let's get down to it. Come on, it's his only demand.
Okay.
I got a figurine come through the post the other week.
Oh, I cannot imagine what that moment must have been like for you.
It was very...
I'm surprised you've come to work. Yeah. I assume it's somewhere about your person.
It isn't.
Oh, dear God.
No, it's in a strong box. Whatever that is.
A blue strong box.
You can see, it's great being the showrunner, but you don't get a figurine.
Oh.
Actually, they made pretend figurines of. They didn't actually make them. They did a fake up photograph of the 3 showrunners.
Yeah, I was
presented as taller than Chris, which I was very happy about. Since I'm the midget among the showrunners.
It would be a good episode, the 3 showrunners.
It wouldn't. 3 writers complaining. Oh no, it's really hard, isn't it? I know. I find it hard too. Must be making you work a lot. No, that would be the whole thing.
I saw a play the other week about a writer's room called Persephone at the National Theatre. I don't know if you saw it.
Antipodes, perhaps?
Antipodes. I knew it was.
I saw it too. Yeah.
I knew it was 3-syllable classic reference. And,
I've sorted the plug out there. Then.
Yeah, we don't get too troubled by facts. It's closed now. But I thought they managed to get across the excruciating silences of a writing room.
No,
I
I haven't done much in the way of writing rooms, but it was pretty brutal and pretty. And Arthur Darvill was in it, of course.
Oh, of course. That's why I was there. I only go to things with Doctor Who actors.
Did you loiter around the stage door?
I didn't.
Dressed as your character from Mummy and the Orient Express.
I'll be honest. He was in the bar after, and I was in the bar, and I just lost my nerve. I was going to go over and talk to him, and I just can't. I can't.
He's probably heard of you, Frank. That's a chance.
But I thought,
there's a chance. Yeah,
I thought, what if he's horrible to me?
Arthur is never horrible to anyone. He's the loveliest man.
Well, next time.
It was a good play. I did like it.
Next time. I'm glad we've established that. Oh God, we're such politics. It's closed now. Anyway, we loved it.
As a result of our conversation. Whoa!
Yeah, it was like at the time I came on here and asked if Clinton Cards. I'd heard something that Clinton Cards was closing down, and I think there was a big rush on shares. It was a terrible self-fulfilling prophecy. So do be careful. We'll talk more about Dracula in a moment.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I'm with Stephen Moffat here today. I feel like I will need to play another jingle, but what have we got?
Oh, this charming man.
That's usually actually your jingle.
Sitting here with his partner.
I know that, but I think writers are always a bit lonely, aren't they?
I'm not.
Aren't you?
How dare you?
I know
Surely-
lots of people.
You won't be when you leave the studio, because there'll be about 80 middle-aged men with overused plastic carrier bags and clipboards with pictures of Doctor Who asking you to sign them.
I'll make sure that I introduce you to them. They'll be so flattered by that description.
I've done
Frank
them
will be
all
out in a minute.
He's on a
You'll
WhatsApp
recognise him.
group with them already, don't
He'll
worry.
be dressed as a railway porter, you'll know.
Surely writing for telly is the social end of writing, because you do the work solitary and then there's loads of people on set compared to like a novel. Like,
Yes, it is, but I mean,
That would be-
I never quite. I mean, you write novels, don't you?
I
mean,
do.
I mean, obviously, you don't. I mean, you must go out in the evening and talk to people.
Not really.
I mean,
just going to make a note of that.
I liked the sort of slightly disciplined isolation.
Yeah.
I have no friends.
Can
Can I ask you about Dracula's castle?
Yes.
Because I'd like to go on holiday there. Can you sort that out? And can you explain what the setup there and how you found it?
Do you want to read the TripAdvisor reviews first before you make a commitment?
Yes. Don't spend more than 3 nights and stay away from the brides. Castle Arava is in Slovakia. It's where they filmed Nosferatu.
The original Nosferatu?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you can see why. Because it is the scariest looking thing you'll ever see. What you see in the show is what it looks like. Taking some cars out the background and all that. But
no
that's what it looks like.
No CGI turrets.
No, there's one tiny bit of added thing just for continuity for us. But no, that's what it looks like. And it's in the middle of a little town, and there's this big fang of rock, and the scariest looking castle you've ever seen crouched on top of it like a giant vulture. It's extraordinary.
Fang rock.
Yeah, fang rock. Oh, Lord, I've set him off.
Do you know that I bought Emily for her birthday a pirate captain
He won't know what that
figurine?
is.
He will know what that is.
What, you mean a Bruce Purchase?
Exactly, a Bruce Purchase.
He knows. That was my parent, because I always used to joke about how a lot of my parents' friends, because they were sort of actors, would appear in would pop up in Doctor Who, and they'd say, it's not a Hamlet, it's a Who, but it pays the bills, love. And
They didn't mean that.
no, I know
No.
they didn't. But Frank was very excited about the fact that I knew this man who played the pirate.
Bruce Purchase used to go to their house. Can you believe it?
Yeah. Did they wear the big thing? Did they have the parrot with them?
No, he didn't.
It was great.
He didn't actually.
He did
Do
on
you
the
know who wrote
figurine.
that?
Who?
That was Douglas Adams wrote that.
Really?
Yeah, the pirate.
Was it
pirate.
really?
Yeah.
You know, I had a terrible experience with Douglas Adams. I met him.
Was that it? Is that the whole story?
No, I thought...
I like Frank's
got-
stories that start with that sentence.
No.
I had a terrible experience with.
I had a sort of
I vomit.
mental block, and my friend said, this is Douglas Adams, and I sang Bright Eyes from Watership Down, thinking that he'd written Watership Down. And he was actually not very friendly about it, didn't take it that well.
Was he not merely frightened?
No.
Then I would be frightened if that happened.
I thought he was a bit...
Inexplicably, a comedian sang Bright Eyes at me.
Well, I wasn't...
I mean, I'd have said that's strange.
But he was. I wasn't really aware of his importance in the Who universe at the time. Hence the saying, never meet your heroes before they're your heroes.
Oh, yeah.
That is the dilemma. But yes, that was awful.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, everyone.
It's pretty done. It's feeling quite sad about it now.
That's going to have to be your new book title. Yes, that was awful.
Well, I'll just take it from one of my reviews. Direct.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
So, Stephen, I think not many people know that you created the first female Doctor Who.
Joanna Lumley and the Curse of Fatal Death.
And I think she was the 13th Doctor, wasn't she?
I know, isn't that weird?
That is quite weird.
Yeah.
I remember her being quite brilliant as well, even though it
she
was just for
terrific.
a few minutes.
Yeah, no, she was really, really good as the Doctor, actually. She was really, really impressive, yeah.
You didn't ever think of giving her the call?
I gave him the call when I was actually running the show. It would have worked. It would have worked. But
Well,
no.
she had a good sci-fi pedigree, of course, because she was in Sapphire and Steel.
Yes, which
so-
I've never seen a frame of. But
You
yeah.
are kidding, it was brilliant.
Yeah, I know. People keep telling me I'd really love it, and I've... well, there's so many box sets now, and I'm not going to live long enough to see all the television that's been made. Television needs to stop and let people catch up.
That's a great idea.
It's full.
Yes.
Television is full. There's
Just
too
hit the
much.
pause button on making
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. I'm not sure that was a smart move for me to make. Okay. I've actually ended television, the only place that employs me.
I worked out that I've got enough pencils to last me the rest of my life.
Was that a lively evening?
It was a lovely Christmas.
It was a grim realisation.
Yeah.
Can I say, by the way, in the subject of housekeeping, that Dracula is on over 3 nights. It's on the 1st, 2nd and 3rd of January at 9 p.m. on BBC One. And it's they're each 90 minutes.
That's right.
That's a lot of Drac.
And is it true the whole project started as a joke when there was a photograph and it looked like Dracula?
Yeah, a photograph of Benedict Cumberbatch as Sherlock Holmes framed in a window with his collar up, which of course he always had his collar up. And Mark showed it to Ben Stevenson, who was head of drama at the time, and said, "Oh, look, it's Dracula." And Ben immediately says, "Oh, do you want to do it?" And with a turn of speed that does not.
Can I say the rest of us don't get offers like that?
No,
Yeah.
we did not. It was a joke.
I mean,
and that was 2011 or something. It was a long time ago, and we're far too lazy to respond to something like that. So it was many years later when we started joking.
I got so jealous reading that because we make jokes on this show every week, and I don't think any of them have led to any work.
Well, it's the only joke we made that ended up as a TV show. I mean, some of my TV shows ended up as jokes. That's a different thing.
Simply not true. I can't stand by and have that said. Can I ask you a question about Doctor Who? When you were
my favourite character was in Mummy on the Orient.
Stephen,
No, I wasn't going to ask that.
So embarrassed.
When you were writing Doctor Who, did you feel that you were writing a children's programme?
Yeah, I think fundamentally, yeah. But I have strong views on what children like on television, so I don't think children's television is childish, and I think a children's program that doesn't appeal to adults is a very silly idea. You know, of course it should, and of course, I mean, what's Star Wars but a bunch of kids' films? Of course it is, and that's why we love them. What are superhero movies? Are they what really? We actually think Spider-Man's a real person? No, we never grow out of children. Great children's stories appeal to children and adults. The failing of adult shows is they only appeal to adults. He said while promoting Dracula. So let's just rewind that.
At 9 p.m, remember, on BBC One.
Watch it, kids.
No, well, Emily, whenever I mention Doctor Who, often reprimands me by saying, yes, that's a kid's show, I believe.
What's wrong with that?
No, I don't have any problems with that. I think it's more to do with the fact that I grew up with a lot of the Doctor Who cast in the 70s because there were actors coming in and out.
Extraordinary way to be brought up.
No, I know.
Were they selected for that reason?
Okay, let me explain to
How
you.
was Roger Delgado?
No, I couldn't see them as monsters because I saw them smoking cigarettes in our front room and having wine. Do you see what I mean?
I have a remarkable image of Cybermen sprawled around your room babysitting.
It was a bit like that. It was a bit like that. So yes, but that's the only reason I would say that. And also, I know Frank is such a huge fan of yours, though. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen.
Don't embarrass me.
Well, you've already done that yourself. I think, let me ask you about Doctor Who.
I think I've hidden that
You
quite
seem
well.
impervious to embarrassment, Frank.
Well, I'm pretty good with it.
Yeah.
I embrace it. I think that's the secret.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
I think Dracula is more scary now because people are more frightened of blood than they used to be. You know, physiotherapists on football pitches wear rubber gloves and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Now, so seeing someone drink it really does seem full on.
You think at a certain point people were perfectly relaxed about that and then decided to go aside about it? Dracula wasn't originally a horror story at all.
Oh, well, I think it was certainly a horror story, but I think that blood, I don't know, I was around more blood in my teens, going to nightclubs in Birmingham and stuff. But now...
No,
oh, that's nice.
It's a very sanitised world that you inhabit now, isn't it? That's
so Dracula's got worse. Good. Dracula's even more... No, please watch it. Please watch it. Jokes, adventure, excitement.
No, it is.
Blood.
It's fabulous. It's got a fabulous dark mood to it, which permeates the whole thing, and you feel it a bit in your shoulders afterwards. You know that? You know when things linger in the shoulders.
Oh right, okay, that's a plug. If you're
So book a massage for the 4th of January if you watch.
If I was going to plug it, I'd say that it's got the best pre-titles interview question
Okay.
I have ever known in any television. So it's worth watching it just for that, and by then you'll be hooked, of course.
Oh, good. I hope so.
And flies.
A lot of flies.
Oh.
Yeah, they're nasty. Now, flies are nasty. I don't think that's been
There's
done much
something
in
that
Dracula
happens with a
before.
fly in the first 20. I mean, I can. Oh.
I think you and Salvador Dali are the only ones who've really cashed in on the fly.
Really, you reckon?
Fly horror.
Yeah, that's good.
So
that's good to know.
That's
Good
a pretty
company.
good Venn diagram.
Do you watch it when it goes out? Will you?
If we're around, yes.
Yeah.
Sue's accidentally booked the theatre for the second one, but
Sue.
and we didn't know the transmission day.
Tape it.
But we do.
You can
watch it. It's
you can
great.
probably get a tape if you ask the BBC.
There is something different when you watch it go out. There's something different. You know everybody else is watching it, and it becomes a slightly different show. And sometimes you like it better, and sometimes you like it less. You sort of think, oh, that's not clear, or we're labouring that point, or you think, oh God, that's actually funny and good. It happened once. I think it was in 2008. It was great.
Will you watch it on Twitter, so to speak, at the same time?
Oh no, Sue does that, but no.
No, I can't
never
do that. That's nerves of steel.
That's where the nasty people go.
Well, also that's when you start seeing Frank Skinner is trending, and I think, he was all right 10 minutes ago when we left the theatre.
Yes, just on an ambulance now.
So, I've got to ask one more.
Dracula
Doctor
question.
Who question.
When
you
Frank,
finish,
my mum always said never ask the guests for autographs.
I just want to know this. When you finished Doctor Who, when you put the last walked away from the last edit and it was finished and you'd stopped working on it, how long did you have off before you started work on something else?
Sorry, Stephen.
Well, how long?
Did you sit in a deck chair in the garden?
I think I was already writing the novelisation of Day of the Doctor. So not very long.
Man, what kind of an ending is that?
No, I wrote a play. I mean, everything. Once you've done Doctor Who for a few years, especially if it's overlapping all the time with Sherlock, everything, however hard you work after that, it feels like time off. Because Doctor Who's so hard. It's properly difficult. Sorry, Chris, if you're listening. You'll be fine.
He's all right. He's only doing one every 2 years.
Hush, don't you be mean to Chris. No, it's a monster of a job. So, no, I mean, I was very... actually, the first thing I did when we finished was I got on a plane, we went to Hawaii for a holiday, and I had a brilliant holiday. It was really great. I really loved it.
Did you eat one of those underground cow things? You know, they put a cow in the ground. They cook it in the ground.
Did I meet one? Oh, I thought you said you eat one. Is that what you said?
No.
Oh, I thought you said, did you eat one?
Yeah,
eat one.
Oh, they cook it in the ground.
They
Has
cook
anyone
it.
else asked you that question during your Dracula publicity?
I have to say I didn't have a hand-me-down answer. I didn't think, that's the underground cow
The old
question.
cow question again.
I think there's a technical name for that event. I think it's covered in clay or something, the cow, and then cooked in the ground.
Yeah.
Dracula is on the 1st, the 2nd and the 3rd of January.
Largely above ground.
Yes, well, not always, of course. Yes, and it is brilliant, and I look forward to the other two with some fear, but I think that's okay, as you say.
It's Dracula.
The stakes are pretty high.
Oh, it was a matter of time.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. I think it had to be done. You say that, but it'll be in the next series.
Who says it isn't in this one?
Oh, yeah, I've only seen one.
We've covered most of the gags.
That is the joy of doing a story that people know, though, because there's a lot. I think I'm allowed to say this. Early on, he's asked, he says, do you drink? And he goes, I don't drink wine. And you think, we know.
The thing is, though, that line appears in that line's invented for the Lugosi film, and it's in every Dracula film since. Everyone says
Really?
Frank Langella says it. I'm not sure. Louis Jourdan says it. I'm trying to remember if Christopher Lee says it. I'm not sure if he does. But just about every version of Dracula says that at some point. So we made it his, if it's not too much of a spoiler, his very first line.
Yeah,
we're doing it. We're going for it. We've sorted that one out.
No,
Frank had a brilliant observation about the staff, though.
No, when he says the staff don't work at night, and I thought that's an easy job if you work for Dracula.
No, it's very true. Yeah.
The flexi-time day
The truth is, it's the unseen part of Dracula. He's when Jonathan Harker's staying there, he's cooking, he's cleaning, he puts Harker to bed, he does everything for him.
Sort of Mary Kondo figure. Anyway, I recommend people to watch it. I certainly will be, but not with my 7-year-old. Can I point that out?
7-year-olds are welcome to watch Dracula.
Don't say that. There's fingernails coming off. Anyway, it's great to see you as ever, Stephen, and I look forward to the...
Sorry about the Doctor Who stuff.
Oh, come on. I think I was pretty good on it. Anyway, then in the next 2 weeks, we'll be best of shows. We won't be here live at all. I always think the best of shows inevitably are better.
Oh, they're really good. I listen to them sometimes and chuckle.
The fat is trimmed off them like an underground Hawaiian bullock. Yeah. Anyway, that'll be the highlights of 2019. We'll be back again on the 4th of January, the day after the run of 3 Draculas is on BBC One. So what a 4 days that could be. We'll be the sort of chill-out room after...
We might be the most horrific thing in that 4 days.
That is possible. Yeah. Thanks for listening. If the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again in 2020. Now get out.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.